Hello all. In this video I am going to introduce how to install the latest version of Hyperledger Fabric in our local machine. Here I am using the operating system Ubuntu 18.04 version. So it is recommended to use an Ubuntu version of 16 or greater. Sites mainly required for the Hyperledger Fabric. So here I am going to install the latest version of Hyperledger Fabric from the official website, and here you can see a lot of commands that we required for installing the prerequisite that I will paste this command into the description of this video. So first we can start from installing the curl. So in order for starting the installation, first we need to just refresh our source information for resources. So just to do sudo apt-get update, so you require the password. So just refreshing our repositories and downloading the packages that required for the system. So next we can install the curl. So I think it's already in my system. You just run. So it's already the newest version in your system. In order for checking whether the version is currently installed, you just do curl 7.58. so it is currently in my system. Okay, next we are going to install Docker into our machine. So actually Docker is a tool which is mainly designed to make for easily creating deploying application by using containers. So container is actually helps the developers to group up or package up an application with all its dependencies and libraries. So we can download the container images into the containers or into the Docker, and different versions can also be stored into a single Docker. So actually Docker is like a virtual machine we are running without affecting from different other application, and application can be run inside the Docker. So firstly for that we need to add the official Docker repository into the machine. So for that you have to run this command. So it's successfully added into the machine. Next you need to okay, sudo apt-get. So you need to add the repository. Sorry, so okay, this is actually because the inverter comma problem in inverter comma, the font is not actually supporting the. Actually I copied from the Word file. You have to type here so you can see the difference. That's the problem. Okay, so it's successfully working. Then after adding the repository you have to again do the apt-update command. So based on the currently added repository, everything is updating. So next you need to install the Docker. It takes almost 100 MB. You need to download from the net. So I'm just posting the things here. We can see after the downloading. Downloading the Docker, we can check whether it is currently installed using the command docker ---- version. So here you can see we installed the version 19 into the system. Next we can see we are going to download the version for the Docker Compose using the command sudo apt-get install Docker Compose. It's also required to download certain MB. So just we can Docker Compose is downloaded, so we can check whether the version is completely installed using the command version. docker composer, docker compose minus version. Okay, so here you can see it's installed a version 1.117. So in order for completely checking whether the docker and docker composer is completely installed for downloading an image, we can download an image called as hello world image, and it is just like a hello world program. We are actually downloading an image of hello world. It's just testing our installation. So okay, so it's required the sudo docker. Okay, so if the hello world is not downloaded, then it will be downloaded from the repository. I think it's already downloaded in my machine, so it will shows the output hello from the docker. So it shows that the docker and docker composer is 100% completely installed in your machine. So next we can go and install the Go language. So here you can install use from the official website of Go language. So here you can see the command. You can see here it is the latest version of Go language 1.14. So it's actually required a 16-bit processor. So if you want to download for a 32-bit processor or something, you need to go for the previous version from the package, so you can download the previous version. So it's almost 119 MB size, or just I downloaded the version of Go language into your machine. So you have to download this package, and from here you can see the command to be used for extracting this downloaded package into our users local directory. For version, you have to go into downloads for getting the version. So here you can see it's downloaded. So open the terminal in downloader, and you have to run the command -c. So actually we are extracting the folder into users local directory. So you have to execute this command. So after executing this command, you can see that in your computer the users local machine folder contain. Okay, here you can see the Go language is completely copied into our local folder, and the bin library is available. So you have to set the path of bin. So in order for setting the path, it's already given in the website, like you have to use export path equal to $path. So next you have to set the path for Go, and next we can check whether it is completely running. So here you can see we have installed the Go, and that's why it is showing these commands. So if you run Go -1 version, you will see these things. Okay, so it if suppose, but here one thing here I need to say is that actually setting this path is temporarily. So in order for permanently setting the path of Go library, you have to set in /profile. In order, you have to make the path inside that profile, and you have to restart the machine. If you use set path setting like this, then you need to do it again after restarting the terminal. Okay. So that way we install our Go language. So next we can move to install our Nodejs. For first we need to set up this library, so repository in your machine. So done in the repository into the machine. Next we need to run the command sudo bash node setup. Okay, so it's actually asking for the password. So it takes a few seconds for installing. And after installing this, we need to run the command apt-get install node.js. Okay, after get install Node.js. So actually the things is already in my machine, so that's why it's showing like this. So we can search Node minus V. So the version is 8.17, and also the npm is automatically installed. So Node npm version, it is 5.5.1. Okay, so after doing the command sudo apt-get install Node.js, or automatically npm and Node.js is completely installed in our machine. Install the Python into our machine, but most of the Ubuntu version come with the Python, so we just need to check whether the Python is inside our machine using the command. Okay, it is there, it is 2.7 is present in your machine, but in some cases you can see Python 3 is in your machine, like if you are using Ubuntu 16, it is come with the Python 3, but it is highly recommended to use 2.7. From official website of Farbic you can see it is recommending to use Python 2.7 because the Farbic is built based on the Python 2. So maybe you can later you can find upcoming versions of Farbic and use Python 3 version. So if your machine contain Python 3 or 3 point something, then you have to move back into 2.7. It is better to use 2.7. So you have to you can install, if the Python is not available, you can install using sudo apt-get install Python. Okay, so next we are moving to install the Farbic. So we completed all the installation of all the prerequisite we required for the Farbic and all the dependencies of the prerequisites. So next we can move to install the Farbic version. So in order for installing the different version, you can go into the Farbic document. You can fetch for 1.4 other version like 2.0 or other version. So in order for installing the latest version, you just need to run this command. It's better to use the latest version. So before running this command, you have to create a folder for this Farbic. So I am going to set a folder in my desktop. So I am creating mkdir hyper test. So cd hyper. So we have to create a folder because while running this curl command, we are downloading the Farbic and also the Farbic samples into our machine. So we need to create a folder for that. Okay, so it takes lot of time because some MBs of data to be downloaded. So based on your network may require 30-35 minutes for completing all this process. While you can see whether okay, in hyper test, okay, here you can see the Farbic folder is created. On the folders are already created, and here you can see the first network application, the Fabcar application, and this Fabcar and first network, and I will explain in later videos. So so we can wait for completing the installation of the Farbic. In some cases you may be in some error while downloading the Farbic in some cases because the dependencies of Farbic may be already in your system. It may be create problems with new versions of the same dependencies. So in that case you have to just Google it, and most of the remedies you can find in Stack Overflow. So if 100% or 90% cases, if you followed the correct prerequisite installation, then there will not be a chance for the error in the Farbic installation. Installing the Farbic into our machine. So now we need to test whether everything is correctly installed into our machine. We can see in our folder if one more folder is created, Farbic sample, which contain many other folders. You can see the chain code of different application, testing application in this Farbic sample. Here you can see the first network that we can be used for testing the network. and one more FabCar. It's an actually an application to store and retrieve the details regarding the FabCar. So in the upcoming video I will explain how to implement this FabCar, and you can also see on the interest rate of swaps, etc. So first we can move into how to implement the first network. So this is the things that resides in the first network folder. Here you can see one file byfn, build your first network file, which can have to used for creating the certificates as well as starting the network. There one more important file in the folder. It is actually crypto config.yml file. So in this configuration file, actually you are configuring the ordering nodes. So here you can see you are configured for 5 ordering nodes. Then here you can given the domain as example.com, and you set to organization org1.example. It's the first organization which consists of different users. Count is equal to 2. Then you can see you set one more organization org2.example. Here actually on the basis of this file, the network is creating the ordering peer as well as other organizations, etc. So in order for configuring the network, you have to configure this crypto config file. So we can do it in later videos. So firstly we are going to implement the first network. So open the terminal here. So it's actually I opened in the here. No, it's not here. So just to open terminal inside this folder. Now we can start to implement our first network using the shell script byfn, the build your first network. So in order for generating the certificates and all doing all configuration, we have to first execute the command byfn.sh generate. Okay, here generating the certificate, the genesis block for the channel, my channel. So here the channel name is created as my channel. You can also configure the name of the channel by using the configuration file. So I am going to implement the genesis file certificates as well as the my channel. So it's actually generating the certificates for organization 1 as well as organization 2. Here you can see in this folder it's a created ordering organization as well as a peer organization, and you can see the peer organization 1 org1 membership service provider, which contain the certificates. So this is certificates actually created while executing the generate statement. So this is a certificate. You can see the public key as well as the signature, etc. That can be used for doing into or working in the first network. So this way we generated our network. Next we are going to start our network. So before starting our network, you have to ensure you set the path of Go language correctly in your machine or in your terminal if you restarted the terminal or you restart the machine, because here I am temporarily set the permission, so I need to reset the permission the path of Go language. So path is equal to dollar path colon slash user slash local slash go slash bin. Okay, so you have to set the path of Go language. Okay, just search Go. Okay, so it's actually correctly set the path. So now we can start our network. If you didn't do that, then it may show some errors while executing the network. So either you have to permanently set the path, otherwise you have to do this for starting every terminal. So next you can start byfn dot sh up. Okay, so you are going to start your network. So starting channel, my channel. So here you can see it is creating the ordering peer, 5 ordering peer, then organization peer 0 of organization 1, peer 1 of organization 1, because he said there are setting 2 peers. So it requires few minutes for completing, and if any errors happen, it may be due to some configuration while so here you can see the version of images you are using is 2.1, and if you done some mistake in installing prerequisite or other dependencies, then the chance for errors in executing this command. So you have to, I already told you have to search in Google, or you can resolve it using Stack Overflow. So I also have many problems while installing the network for the first time. So here you can see you created the order 2, order 3, and order 4. So total I think order 5 also. So next step here 0 of organization 2 is creating. So here you can see all the other things are creating. Let's wait for completing the network. So one thing you have to remember is that if any error occurs while executing this command, then you have to resolve first by checking into Google or some other website. Then you have to remember is that you have to do down operation before executing the up command for the second time. So I will show that after successfully completing this, or if in the middle of execution of the up command, if some errors happened, then you have to down the network first before running the command up. So otherwise it shows other errors, the network is already there, or some other problems it will show. So it is starting the peer nodes. Here you can see so it's actually just checking whether your Fabric is 100% successfully installed in your machine, or doing any other user and applications. Here is actually checking your Fabric network. So installing the chain code on peer 0 of organization 1. The starting of initiating of our first network. So here you can see the command all good byfn execution completed. That shows your first network is actually initiated successfully. So I skipped a few things in the recording. Here you can see we are querying the chain code on different peer organization, as well as we are first defining installing chain code on different network. So while you are installing, you can see all this thing, and if you reach at this point, then it is shows that everything in the Fabric is successfully completed. So you can start your application, you can create your own application, you can implement your own chain code. Okay, so that's end of this video. In order for stopping the initiated network, you have to use the command /byfn down. So don't forget to do this command after completing this process. Sorry, .sh down. So otherwise it cause errors when you start the another application or another network. So you have to down all the started organization peers etc. From the Docker. Okay, so we completely shut down the initiated network.